Hello friends, welcome back to the tutorial of the theory of computation. Now in this session we will be looking forward to have the intersection and complement of a context-free languages. We have already seen the closure properties of context-free languages, where we have seen if L1 and L2 are context-free, then the union, concatenation and closure is also context free. Now what if the two languages are given which are already context free languages? So what about their intersection and complement? Now to start with this discussion, see what we wanted intersection and complement of context free. Now how to prove this? So theorem says if L1 and L2 are context free languages, then L1 intersection L2 is not a context free language. So context free languages are not closed under intersection and complement. So to prove this, let's see a single example. Now given is L1 is context free language and L2 is also context free language. Now if we take the intersection of this, we're trying to prove that that language is not a context free language. Now what this is, let's see first what L1 is. So in this a raised to I, b raised to I and c raised to j, where I and j is changing from 1 to infinity. So what I and j's both are changing from 1 to infinity, and both a and b are equal. So both in this L1 a and b are equal, where c is changing with 1 to infinity. What L2 stands for? So I have a raised to I, b raised to j and c raised to j. So this pattern says even if I and j are changing from 1 to infinity, in this pattern both b and c are equal. So I have b and c are equal with respect to j. Now to prove this, whether these are context free language, just go and just write a context free grammar which satisfies this condition. So what the first one is, where I need to have a and b equal and number of c's I need to generate. So in this, S1 is making sure that a and b must remain same. Even when we derive S1, it will always have one a corresponding with one b. And when we try to eliminate this S1, it has to be eliminated by writing AB. This is why this I and j are changing from 1 to infinity. It should not be null. Okay. And this S2 is any valid damped non-terminal which is taking care of many C's. So either it should produce single C or in recursive format multiple C's. So in this context free grammar, by concatenating this S1 and S2, S1 is good enough to take care of number of A's are equal to number of B's, and S2 is taking care of C is changing, either you get single C or multiple C's. Now see, this is, I'm not going in the working of this, you can derive this string. Now S2 is similar with that. What S2 says, I have B and C are common, so I'll make this S1 to produce all A's, single A or multiple A's, and S2 will take care that I have, if I see a single B, I should see a single corresponding C. That is why we are making sure that B and C both remain same, and this goes in recursive format. So this is, if you could write context free grammar, that language is context free language by definition. So now we'll go and take the intersection of these two. So what L1 says, both A's and B's are equal. If I intersecting this with both, and L2 says I have B's and C's are equal. Now what is common in this? B is common in this. So if I take the intersection, what it means, this is a transitive approach. If a number of A's are equal to B's, and if B's are equal to C's by transitive methods, this says the total number of A's and C's are also equal with this. So what L1 intersection L2 stands for, this generate this L which having A raised to n, B raised to n and C raised to n. All these three are same, and we have already proven that this pattern of L is non-context free language by following pumping lemma. Okay, so what we conclude is, so we conclude that if you take intersection of any two context free language, the resultant language is non-context free language, and this is an example of this. Now within 1 minute we'll go across closure properties of context free language. Class of context free languages closed under union means if L1 and L2 are context free languages, then the union is also context free, and we have already proven this. The class of context free languages not closed under intersection, this is what we have seen just now. L1 is a context free, L2 is again a context free language. If I take the intersection, the resultant string is not a context free or non-context free language. Now, class of context free languages not closed under complement. Okay, now what it means is, see, if you take a particular L1 which is already context free language, if I take a complement of it, then most probably that L1 bar is also non-context free language. Now we have one more mechanism to prove this. So let's go back and check the first one, how to prove the complement one. So we know, we have already proven, if I take, considering L1 and L2 are context free languages, I'm considering L1 and L2 are context free languages. So this is an equation which says L1 intersection L2 can be rewritten with this mathematical formulas. So this is DMS formula basically. Okay. Now what my assumption is, L1 and L2 are context free languages, where left hand side is already proven. What we have said, L1 intersecting L2, just now we have proven that this is non-context free language. Now just go back. Now consider if it is a context free language, we're taking complement of it. Now we have just rewritten this. So instead of L1, I'm writing this as context free language. Now if you take any context free language, now if you consider particular language is context free language, and if you try to take a complement of it, my assumption is the resultant language is also complement. This is my assumption. So what we are trying to prove is, if I have a context free language, if I take the complement of it, I'll get a context free language. So same terminology is true for this. If I have a context free language, if I take a complement of it, I'll get a context free language. Okay, so what about context free language union with context free language? So union property is L1, if it is L1 is context free, if I take the union of with some other L2, so resultant is language is also is evolved with context free language itself. Now the last pattern is, if we take the context free language complement, now my assumption is, if I take a complement of a context free language, I get context free language. But if the left hand part is already proven, so I'm not getting left hand side is not equal to right hand side. Okay, where left hand side is already proven, that means right hand side, my assumption of having L1 and L2 context free language with respect to complement is false. So what we conclude in this is, left hand side is not in equal to right hand side, where left hand side is intersection already proven to be non-context free language. Conclusion. So complement of context free languages is non-context free language. See, complement of context free languages is not context free language. So we won't have, if we have an L1 which is already context free, if I take a complement of it, we won't get the context free language. So we get, it may not be a context free language, it might be something else, or which can be a non-context free language. I hope you understand all this properties of a context free languages. So we have already seen union properties, concatenation properties, closure properties, and now we have seen the intersection and complement. I hope you all of have understood this proven theories. Thank you very much.